Daily tips. Always seek out advice or opinions when making a decision.
Come up to.
Come up to.
Come up to.
Come up to.
To approach.
To approach.
Your performance should come up to our standards.
Your performance should come up to our standards.
近づいてくる。
Come up with.
Come up with.
Come up with.
Come up with.
To invent or suggest.
To invent or suggest.
Can you come up with a creative solution?
Can you come up with a creative solution?
提案する。
In common.
In common.
In common.
In common.
Shared characteristics.
Shared characteristics.
We have a lot in common, including our hobbies.
We have a lot in common, including our hobbies.
共通して。
Beyond compare.
Beyond compare.
Beyond compare.
Beyond compare.
Unmatched.
Unmatched.
Her beauty is beyond compare.
Her beauty is beyond compare.
比較に耐えない。
Compare to.
Compare to.
Compare to.
Compare to.
To liken to.
To liken to.
Let's compare apples to oranges.
Let's compare apples to oranges.
に例える。
By comparison.
By comparison.
By comparison.
By comparison.
When contrasted.
When contrasted.
The two products are cheap by comparison.
The two products are cheap by comparison.
比較すると。
In comparison with.
In comparison with.
In comparison with.
In comparison with.
When contrasted with.
When contrasted with.
This phone is excellent in comparison with others.
This phone is excellent in comparison with others.
他のものと比べて。
Be composed of.
Be composed of.
Be composed of.
Be composed of.
To be made up of.
To be made up of.
The salad is composed of various vegetables.
The salad is composed of various vegetables.
で構成される。
As far as be concerned.
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 Regarding a specific aspect.
Regarding a specific aspect.
As far as I am concerned, the project is going well.
As far as I am concerned, the project is going well.
に関して、
On condition that.
On condition that.
On condition that.
On condition that.
With the requirement that.
With the requirement that.
You can use the car on condition that you fill it up with gas.
You can use the car on condition that you fill it up with gas.
条件付きで、
Out of condition.
Out of condition.
Out of condition.
Out of condition.
Not in good health or shape.
Not in good health or shape.
The old car is out of condition and needs repairs.
The old car is out of condition and needs repairs.
調子が悪い、
In confidence.
In confidence.
In confidence.
In confidence.
With trust and secrecy.
With trust and secrecy.
She shared the secret in confidence with her best friend.
She shared the secret in confidence with her best friend.
信頼を持って、
Take into one's confidence.
Take into one's confidence.
Take into one's confidence.
Take into one's confidence.
To trust and confide in.
To trust and confide in.
He decided to take into his confidence his most loyal friend.
He decided to take into his confidence his most loyal friend.
信用し、秘密を打ち明ける、
In conjunction with.
In conjunction with.
In conjunction with.
In conjunction with.
Together with.
Together with.
The two teams worked in conjunction with each other.
The two teams worked in conjunction with each other.
とともに、
In connection with.
In connection with.
In connection with.
In connection with.
Related to.
Related to.
I have some information in connection with the case.
I have some information in connection with the case.
に関連して、
In conscience.
In conscience.
In conscience.
In conscience.
With a clear conscience.
With a clear conscience.
He acted in all conscience in that situation.
He acted in all conscience in that situation.
良心がある、
On one's conscience.
On one's conscience.
On one's conscience.
On one's conscience.
Causing guilt or regret.
Causing guilt or regret.
The accident weighed heavily on his conscience.
The accident weighed heavily on his conscience.
両親に負担をかける。
By common consent.
By common consent.
By common consent.
By common consent.
With unanimous agreement.
With unanimous agreement.
The decision was made by common consent of the group.
The decision was made by common consent of the group.
すべての同意によって。
In consequence.
In consequence.
In consequence.
In consequence.
As a result.
As a result.
He missed the deadline and in consequence, faced consequences.
He missed the deadline and in consequence faced consequences.
結果として。
In consequence of.
In consequence of.
In consequence of.
In consequence of.
Because of.
Because of.
The event was canceled in consequence of bad weather.
The event was canceled in consequence of bad weather.
のために。
In consideration of.
In consideration of.
In consideration of.
In consideration of.
Considering.
Considering.
In consideration of your request, we will proceed.
In consideration of your request, we will proceed.
考慮して。
Take into consideration.
Take into consideration.
Take into consideration.
Take into consideration.
Consider.
Consider.
Please take into consideration the budget constraints.
Please take into consideration the budget constraints.
考慮に入れる。
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
On the contrary.
Opposite viewpoint.
Opposite viewpoint.
I expected rain. On the contrary, it was sunny.
I expected rain. On the contrary, it was sunny.
それとは逆に。
To the contrary.
To the contrary.
To the contrary.
To the contrary.
In contrast.
In contrast.
His actions are to the contrary of what he says.
His actions are to the contrary of what he says.
それとは逆に。
By contrast.
By contrast.
By contrast.
By contrast.
In comparison.
In comparison.
By contrast, the new model is faster.
By contrast, the new model is faster.
対照的に。
In contrast to.
In contrast to.
In contrast to.
In contrast to.
Compared to.
Compared to.
Our product is affordable in contrast to our competitors.
Our product is affordable in contrast to our competitors.
それとは対照的に。
In control.
In control.
In control.
In control.
Managing.
Managing.
The manager is in control of the project.
The manager is in control of the project.
管理中。
Out of control.
Out of control.
Out of control.
Out of control.
Unmanageable.
Unmanageable.
The situation is out of control and chaotic.
The situation is out of control and chaotic.
制御不能。
Under control.
Under control.
Under control.
Under control.
Managed.
Managed.
With his guidance, the team is under control.
With his guidance, the team is under control.
管理されています。
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
To the core.
Completely.
Completely.
He is dedicated to the core to his job.
He is dedicated to the core to his job.
全く。
At all costs.
At all costs.
At all costs.
At all costs.
Regardless of expense.
Regardless of expense.
We must succeed at all costs to achieve our goal.
We must succeed at all costs to achieve our goal.
何があっても。
At the cost of.
At the cost of.
At the cost of.
At the cost of.
Resulting in harm.
Resulting in harm.
He achieved success, but at the cost of his health.
He achieved success, but at the cost of his health.
代償として。
Keep one's own counsel.
Keep one's own counsel.
Keep one's own counsel.
Keep one's own counsel.
Keep secrets.
Keep secrets.
She decided to keep her own counsel about the issue.
She decided to keep her own counsel about the issue.
自分の秘密を守る。
Count against.
Count against.
Count against.
Count against.
Negative consideration.
Negative consideration.
This mistake will count against your performance review.
This mistake will count against your performance review.
ネガティブに考慮する。
Count down.
Count down.
Count down.
Count down.
Decrease or recite.
Decrease or recite.
Count down from 10 to 1 before launching the rocket.
Count down from 10 to 1 before launching the rocket.
カウントダウン。
Count in.
Count in.
Count in.
Count in.
Include.
Include.
We should count in all team members for this project.
We should count in all team members for this project.
含む。
Count on.
Count on.
Count on.
Count on.
Rely on.
Rely on.
You can count on him to complete the task.
You can count on him to complete the task.
信頼する。
Count out.
Count out.
Count out.
Count out.
Exclude.
Exclude.
Please count out the defective items.
Please count out the defective items.
除外する。
Count up.
Count up.
Count up.
Count up.
Accumulate.
Accumulate.
Let's count up the total number of votes.
Let's count up the total number of votes.
合計する。
In the course of.
In the course of.
In the course of.
In the course of.
During. In the process of.
During in the process of.
In the course of our journey, we discovered hidden treasures.
In the course of our journey, we discovered hidden treasures.
進行中に。
In due course.
In due course.
In due course.
In due course.
Eventually, at the right time.
Eventually at the right time.
Your hard work will be rewarded in due course.
Your hard work will be rewarded in due course.
予定通り。
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Naturally, obviously.
Naturally, obviously.
Of course, I'll help you with your project.
Of course, I'll help you with your project.
もちろん。
Cover for.
Cover for.
Cover for.
Cover for.
Provide an excuse or protection for.
Provide an excuse or protection for.
She agreed to cover for her colleague's absence.
She agreed to cover for her colleague's absence.
カバーする。
Cover up.
Cover up.
Cover up.
Cover up.
Hide, conceal.
Hide, conceal.
He tried to cover up his mistake, but it was obvious.
He tried to cover up his mistake, but it was obvious.
隠す。
Take cover.
Take cover.
Take cover.
Take cover.
Find shelter or protection.
Find shelter or protection.
When the storm came, we had to take cover in the cave.
When the storm came, we had to take cover in the cave.
避難する。
Undercover.
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 Hidden, concealed.
Hidden, concealed.
The spy operated undercover to gather information.
The spy operated undercover to gather information.
秘密に。
Crack down.
Crack down.
Crack down.
Crack down.
Enforce laws or regulations.
Enforce laws or regulations.
The government decided to crack down on illegal activities.
The government decided to crack down on illegal activities.
取り締まる。
Crack up.
Crack up.
Crack up.
Crack up.
Burst into laughter, break down.
Burst into laughter, break down.
The comedian's jokes made the audience crack up.
The comedian's jokes made the audience crack up.
笑いすぎる。
Crawl with.
Crawl with.
Crawl with.
Crawl with.
Be filled with.
Be filled with.
The picnic area crawled with ants.
The picnic area crawled with ants.
這いずり回る。
On cue.
On cue.
On cue.
On cue.
Precisely on time, as planned.
Precisely on time as planned.
The actor delivered his lines on cue.
The actor delivered his lines on cue.
合図通り。
Take one's cue from.
Take one's cue from.
Take one's cue from.
Take one's cue from.
To follow someone's lead or example.
To follow someone's lead or example.
Take one's cue from a successful mentor.
Take one's cue from a successful mentor.
任から指示を受ける。
Curl up.
Curl up.
Curl up.
Curl up.
To form into a curl or spiral.
To form into a curl or spiral.
She curled up with a book on the couch.
She curled up with a book on the couch.
丸く巻く。
Cut across.
Cut across.
Cut across.
Cut across.
To go across a surface or area.
To go across a surface or area.
Let's cut across the field to save time.
Let's cut across the field to save time.
斜めに切る。
Cut back.
Cut back.
Cut back.
Cut back.
To reduce or decrease.
To reduce or decrease.
The company had to cut back on expenses.
The company had to cut back on expenses.
切り戻す。
Cut down.
Cut down.
Cut down.
Cut down.
To reduce or diminish.
To reduce or diminish.
They decided to cut down their energy usage.
They decided to cut down their energy usage.
切り倒す。
Cut in.
Cut in.
Cut in.
Cut in.
To interrupt or join in.
To interrupt or join in.
She tried to cut in on our conversation.
She tried to cut in on our conversation.
割り込む。
Cut off.
Cut off.
Cut off.
Cut off.
To disconnect or remove.
To disconnect or remove.
The storm cut off our electricity.
The storm cut off our electricity.
切り離す。
Cut out.
Cut out.
Cut out.
Cut out.
To remove or eliminate.
To remove or eliminate.
You should cut out sugar from your diet.
You should cut out sugar from your diet.
切り抜く、
Dash off.
Dash off.
Dash off.
Dash off.
To write or do quickly.
To write or do quickly.
I need to dash off a quick email.
I need to dash off a quick email.
急いで書く、
Out of date.
Out of date.
Out of date.
Out of date.
No longer current or valid.
No longer current or valid.
This document is out of date and needs updating.
This document is out of date and needs updating.
時代遅れの、
Another tips. Don't always believe what you think.